Okay, hi guys and welcome to my review of X-Plane 9 for iPad. Now, I've got this for iPad at the moment, but you can also get it for Android tablets and Android devices and also Apple iOS devices. I've actually got it on a Samsung Galaxy Note as well. But I just want to show you the review of the X-Plane 9 for iPad because it's a more advanced version of X-Plane and it's quite realistic. So, this is version 9.770 and it's 154 megabytes. I got it quite a while ago. I'm not sure how much I got it for, but I'll just launch it now. Keep it down here. It takes a while to launch, but it's quite a big application anyway. So yeah, let's just see, take a look. Okay, so I'll just turn it. Okay, so let's just go to the menu first. Let's start from region. Okay, so I'll go through some of the regions we've got here. We've got Innsbruck, Austria, we've got Hawaii, Miami, Southern California. So you just have a look through some of the locations. For now, let's just fly in Provo, UT. Now we go to the plane. There is a massive range of planes on this. It's just loading the scenery. So there's a massive range of planes from the Cessna 172, the Columbia 400, Cirrus, P180, King Air, 777, 747, A380, 787, 737, MD-88, A320, 757. Got Concorde here. Concorde, some helicopters, R22, Jet Ranger, Chinook. I've got F-22, SR-71, B-1 Lancer, B-2 Stealth Bomber, X-15, B-52 Bomber, XB-70, C-130, P-51, F-4, F-15, F-86, don't know what that is, ARS-21 gliders, yes, some gliders here, MiG-21, F-14, F-18, 172 seaplane, and the seaplanes, the Orbiter, F-16, JA-37 Viggen, P-38, P-40 Piper Cub, R-44, Predator drone, and the U-2 Dragon Lady. So if we just start off with a Boeing 737, or let's go for actually a 787. It's quite easier to fly. So we'll just reduce the weight slightly and go to failures. So over here you can select what aircraft systems will fail, so that you can put them onto yellow, which means they might fail, or you can put them to red, meaning they'll definitely fail. So you can got airspeed, altimeter, heading, elevators, rudder, ailerons, flaps, trim. You've got 4 engines, thrust reversers, landing gear, tyre blowouts, brakes, etc. Bird strike as well. You can make a bird strike imminent or just likely. Either one. Time. This is just simple 4 modes. So you've got day, dusk, just a bit darker, and night. We'll go for day for now. Weather. We got a range of presets, I think, or just like visibility options. So we can change visibility. We will keep it at 10 miles. Wind goes all the way up to 40 knots. Turbulence, level 10 turbulence. You can actually choose the wind direction as well. Thermal, VVI, storms, wave height. You can change the cloud bases where they are. You don't think you can actually change the cloud types, but you can certainly change the bases. Now this is the Apollo add-on I'll come back to this later on. But and also here we've got your calibrator, and if you can play with other people on the network. I haven't actually tried that feature out yet, but I'll just set this as the center, and we'll go ahead to map. Now if we find our aircraft is here on, oh no, actually we'll go to runway 36, here on the 36 uniform, and you can see it's marked by the pink plane, and I think, I'm not sure about this place, but it does actually give you ILS frequencies which you can fly. You can fly them manually. I don't think it lets you use the autopilot. So if we have a look here, you can get ILS frequencies for the runways. So I might fly into those. Actually, what was this runway? I'll fly here, 34, 30, try 30, 13. See where we've got to now. Okay, so we're on runway 13, Kilo Papa Victor uniform, and I'll just return to the flight. So let's have a look at some of the graphics. So Boeing 787. In fact, this isn't actually the best plane for all the graphics. I can show you better planes for graphics. I think the 777s. Let's fly something a bit faster. But the physics actually are very realistic. I mean, you can really struggle to fly with all the load weights, and it's all taken into account. There's really good physics engine in this, so it does actually make a difference what you're flying, what weights, etc., wind speed. It's very realistic. So if we have a look round this British Airways 777, we got quite good modelling, alright painting. It's not bad for a tablet. And if we have a look at our controls, we've got trim adjustment. That's elevator trim. We've got thrust. Okay, and if you pull that back, it's reverse thrust, and then you wait for that to spool up. Now we've got landing gear. I've got the brakes, got rudder, which also just turns when you. So I can show you the rudder, which just also turns if you're tilt the iPad in as well. So we've got speed brake spoilers. You can see them deploying there. Also we've got flap all the way down. Set the flaps for takeoff. Loads of different views. Like this view, it will go past, swing the camera around. If we have a look into the cockpit, it's actually pretty detailed. So we've got battery, avionics, lights, landing lights, strobe light, beacon, and nav light, brakes, fuel quantity in both wing tanks. We've got gear, throttle, flaps, spoilers, autopilot engage, ILS frequencies, nav 1 and nav 2, auto thrust, heading and altitude hold. Also you can select your map like distance that you can gauge. This, I'm not sure what that is actually. Possibly heading. I'm not sure. Anyway, so let's take off, and I'll show you. It's quite realistic flight controls. So release the brakes now. Flaps are set. Increase throttle. Also pretty good sound as well, because you can hear the air traffic control chatter in the background there, and we're on full throttle for takeoff. It's actually quite awkward filming this, so apologies for some bad flying. Okay, so rotate. Okay, gear up. Trying to hold that at 10 degrees. It's sometimes a bit easier to fly in this view. You you can get some better angles to fly from. So it actually does feel pretty much like a 777. If you're flying on X-Plane 10, the desktop simulator, it feels pretty similar. It's quite heavy, but then again quite intelligent system for this 777. If you fly something like a 747, you could definitely feel the flight controls a little bit older, a little bit heavier, and also, as I said, weight. It actually does matter in this game. Weather, wind speed, visibility, it all matters because it's such a realistic flight simulator. And so we're just taking off now. Let's have a look at some other aircraft. Also, might try a landing, and I'll also show you the replay system, which is quite cool as well. A380 is very hard to fly actually. Don't really want to fly that. Let's see. I could probably land the 747 is actually very hard to land, surprisingly. Probably land the 737, no problem. Okay, so we'll go for runway 13, final approach. Just pause it a second, just get back. Okay, now I'll lower the landing gear, set the brakes, try and gradually lower the flaps, and we need to be aligning with the runway now. So I think we'll probably go for an approach speed about 160 knots, something like that. But it's not like anyone could pick this up and start flying and landing and taking off perfectly. It's actually a very sophisticated game to play, like simulators to play, and it requires quite a bit of skill. In fact, when I was in St. Martin, I just got this, and I was there are quite a few pilots staying at the resort that we're staying at, and I asked them to take a go at it, and they were actually pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So now just at 160 knots, about. Reduce it a bit. Reduce the flap slightly. And sorry for any bad flying, because this is quite awkward to film this. Just turn off all the lights in the room. But I can definitely say I do recommend this. It's a very fun, sophisticated simulator. Probably one of the best simulators you can get, except for the desktop simulators. But yeah, it's a pretty good simulator. I think actually for iPad it's around £7, so pretty expensive, but I think it is worth it if you're gonna play it, if you're gonna use it quite a lot. Okay, so actually a bit slow, but never mind. Okay, so just gonna flare, just line it again, reduce throttle slightly. Okay, now I'm just engaging reverse thrust, and I've deployed the spoilers. That was very quickly stopped. Okay, now we've stopped on the runway. So I will now show you the sophisticated replay system, and I will show you a replay of that landing. So I think it was alright landing, actually, not bad. Pretty good, neat approach. I'll just show you from here. Okay, so we've got different views again. You can make the aircraft fly past. If we go here, it's actually not bad landing, in fact. Yeah. Okay, you can see how quickly the speed brakes have deployed and reverse thrust is engaged. See how quickly we just stopped there. But then again, we were only coming in about 140 knots. So anyway, I will show you some other aircraft now. Let's see. Helicopters, I am no good at flying them. I really can't fly them. Try an F-22. Show you some performance. Okay, now I should probably fly this. I'll show you the cockpit of the F-22. It's pretty pretty sophisticated again, and it's actually unique to the F-22. Actually, and I think some other fighters use it as well, but definitely the airliners and the fighters have different cockpit views, so it's pretty advanced. I should have done that actually. Okay, now you can definitely feel there's so much more power, taking off, and the physics is so much more different. Oh my god. Before I crash, I'll just, and also I just want to show you the okay, I'll show you with a different aircraft. So let's fly the let's see. In fact, they've got loads of different situations as well. So if you're flying, let's say the X-15, you can get the drop from the B-52. Look, I'll show you. Get a map, B-52 drop. Okay, so have a look here. We're on the B-52, and we can just choose when to deploy and go full thrust, and yeah, get very fast. That's when they fly these. Apparently, the paint comes off. They go to about 80,000 feet, and the paint starts to come off. So when they land, it's not. They have to repaint them. But I'll just show you. The cockpit is simple again. Okay, so I'm gonna hit full thrust, and then I'm gonna hit drop. So it's like a carrier catch shot. No, I don't need to set any flaps. So full thrust, drop, and off we go. Okay, we're going about very fast now. 500 knots. If we descend, we can get some pretty high air speeds. Indicated air speeds at least. Getting 900, 1000 knots. Just resets after that. 1300 knots nearly. Try and bank. Out control. But now, look, I'll just show you our flight path. What we just flew. So we were in the B-52 here, and in fact this is always a live map. So we were in the B-52 here, we got dropped, and we started accelerating. And in fact this is the B-52, still flying, and this is us, this purple line, this pink line. Flew right the way out, all the way out here, and we're now here. So if we return to the flight, I will show you a replay of the drop from the B-52. So yeah, we hit about 1300 knots, so pretty fast. Okay, so we're in the B-52 now, and when we decided to drop, we set the thrust and dropped. Off we went. But also I'm going to show you now the orbiter, or maybe some gliding, I'm not sure. The orbiter, okay. Okay, Apollo mission. This is amazing, really. It's an add-on for the iPad. Explain on iPad, and I will show you basically what it is. Okay, so we go for separation. Go. So, oh, sorry, not separation. We go for. Come on, hold on. And I actually had to buy this, but it comes with different images of the Apollo space mission. Let's go for separation. I actually can't do any of this. I've tried it several times. It's very hard. But yeah, you're basically in zero gravity, and you have a few controls. But I can't do a descent burn. Think this is powered descent, trying to land. So you got your thrust here and your you really can't do this. Vertical descent. Yeah, trying to touch down without damaging the like hull. Oh wow, the space buggy. I haven't done this yet. Launch. Okay, hit launch, and then you launch full thrust. It's pretty impressive actually. And now you can dock again. Let's see what else. Plane. I'll show you some more aircraft. Let's do a bit of gliding. Us 21. 10,000 feet. Bit high. Oh my god. 75 knots. Okay, well, I think that basically sums it up now. But I would recommend it. It's a really good sim. Obviously, it is quite expensive, and I don't think you don't need to bother going for the Apollo space mission add-on. It's not that great, but it's pretty cool, and maybe try it out. But it is a very good simulator, and you can get it for Android as well. I have it on my Android Samsung Galaxy phone. But yeah, I really like it, and please tell me what you think down below, because this is one of my first video reviews. It's been quite difficult to film actually, and thank you. Comment, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.